packed show this week as we have area high school student athletes celebrating state championships in swimming and wrestling. It's regional tournament time in boys and girls basketball, regional meets for indoor track, and of course we will announce the coveted Athlete of the Week. All that and more is coming up on this week's installment of Varsity 360, and it starts right now. Hi there folks, Mark Coleman here from V2SN, and welcome to Varsity 360. Hope you enjoy our new Fredericksburg set. We have moved from our downtown New York location to downtown Fredericksburg. Very happy that you found us at fredericksburg.com. Very pleased to be partnered with the wonderful team from the Freelance Star, including their sports department. And tonight I have with me to talk about the area high school sports, one of the very best from the FLS varsity team, my good friend Taft Coghill Jr. Taft, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Well, it is getting to be late Fredericksburg, and we've got lots of excitement in high school winter sport activities, state championships to get to, regional tournaments and regional meets going on. This is an exciting time for the winter sports.
Yes, when it gets to this time of year, February, I mean, that's when it really gets busy for us. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No kidding. So I appreciate the time. Always appreciate the time, and glad that you were able to join us here tonight. So thanks again.
No problem.
Well, why don't we jump right in, and we'll start with boys basketball. It is regional tournament time. We're recording this on Tuesday night, actually, so we've got some of the games from Monday night to discuss, including the 6A South, excuse me, where Colonial Forge was able to get a big victory last night over Cosby.
Yes, that was a very, very big win for Colonial Forge because despite the season they've had, you still never know how the postseason is going to go. They've been relatively untested, you know, as far as postseason play in years past. So I'm sure Coach Jason John was thrilled to see the way his team responded.
Game was kind of lopsided, 85-58 the final score. They go to 23-1 on the season. They'll be playing Wednesday night at the Siegel Center at VCU. The winner of that game goes to the state tournament, so that's a big deal there. Yeah,
that's what you call the pressure game when you need that win to get over that hump into that state tournament. And the boys, they haven't been on that stage before, you know, to play in the Siegel Center. The girls experienced it last year at Forge, and they were pretty much in awe. I kind of recall them walking around and touring the locker rooms and different things. So it's a pretty big deal to go there and play on that stage. So it'll be interesting to see how the boys respond to being on it for the first time.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and they'll be meeting Patrick Henry from Roanoke in this game. I was at this game last night, actually, and it occurred to me that there are a large number of football players on this Colonial Forge basketball team. How much do you think the deep run that Forge made into the football playoffs, that postseason, is going to help them, prepare them for this basketball?
I think it'll help them some. It'll obviously help the ones who were able to go through it, but you still have guys like Marco Haskins and Winston Burgess who didn't experience that. So I think Damon Daniel, Gary Jennings, those guys, as far as the nerves, should be just fine. It'll be interesting to see how Haskins and Burgess and even Coach Jason John responds on that stage.
Yeah, good point. It's a pressure on the coaches as well.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
doubt. Well, the big win for Colonial Forge in the 6A South. You were at the 5A North game at Massaponax. Awfully tight game. Came down to a potential buzzer beater there to decide it.
Yeah, Massaponax, they've attempted to build their program on defense, so fittingly it came down to a defensive stand, and E.J. Peak, Aaron McFarland, and Kevin Gray, they all teamed up to make a heck of a defensive stand that gave Massaponax his first ever regional win. So.
Yeah, exciting. A victory over Patrick Henry from Ashland. So Massaponax goes to 18-7. Aaron McFarland with 24 points, and defensive recognition for fighting through some screens there on that final series.
Yeah, he prides himself on defense. If you ever watch Aaron play, he's a very strong, fundamentally sound guard. He can handle the ball, he can shoot the ball, but where he really tries to make a name for himself is on the defensive end.
So they've got Wakefield coming up tonight, actually. Farthest run that Massaponax has made into the boys' side of the basketball season.
Yeah.
You think they're ready for it? The nerves have to be high here.
Well, actually, that game has been postponed until tomorrow, so they'll have another day to think about it because of some weather up in Northern Virginia. But yeah, I think they'll be ready. They got their first taste of it against Patrick Henry, and I think they'll be ready. But the question is, are they deep enough or talented enough overall to deal with a run and gun team like Wakefield?
Right. Congratulations to Massaponax for advancing in the 5A North. A couple of games coming up tonight, actually Tuesday night in the 4A North. Chancellor is going to be hosting Dominion, and King George is going to be visiting Loudoun County. What are your thoughts on those two games?
Well, the Chancellor game will be interesting. I mean, they're hosting. They won the conference championship regular season and the tournament, and they're rolling right now. They're a deep team. They have good talent. They have good guard play. They make pretty good decisions. They play fast, but they also play under control. So it'll be interesting to see if they can implement that style tonight against a team like Dominion.
And then how about King George?
King George was rolling along pretty well until they ran into Chancellor, kind of ran into a buzzsaw in the conference championship game. So it'd be interesting to see how they can regroup. I mean, they have the coach. He was at Fredericksburg Christian, which, I mean, it was a private school, but they made deep runs into the playoffs probably the last 3 or 4 years, you know, since Seth Allen, who's at Maryland now. Since he was there, they were a fixture in that DAC and that independent school Final Four. So it'll be interesting to see if any of his experience can help them get a victory tonight.
Postseason basketball is one of my favorite things. If you had to pick, would you rather have a senior point guard or a strong senior guard tandem possibly, or would you rather have more presence in the front court, you know, a big inside post player in postseason time?
Postseason time, I'd definitely rather have the point guard because you run into so many different trapping, aggressive, pressing style teams out there. You know, when you're dealing with the Richmond area schools or say the Tidewood area schools, what they're usually known for is pressing and attacking, and you want to have a guard that's capable of performing under pressure. Handling
that ball.
Yes.
Yeah. Hard to argue with that. Well, let's move on to the 3A East. Last night, Culpeper now goes to 20-3. That's an amazing record. 80-65 victory over William Monroe. A strong team there. 20-7. They finished their season. This is a really strong Culpeper team, though.
Yeah, really strong, really deep. They have the star player in Henry Butler, and then they have a bunch of other players who are willing to accept their roles around them. You look at a guy like Adrian Struther, who had 19 points last night, but all season it's been like, where's Adrian? You know, he hasn't had to do as much. You know, he's been a key contributor for them for years, but this year with so much depth, he's kind of faded to the background. Now it'll be interesting to see if a senior like him can step up in this postseason and give Butler a compliment, you know, as far as a 1-2 punch there.
And then Anthony Ford Odom coming off the bench last night, pouring 19 points in as well. So Butler really didn't have to carry the team last night. They had some good contributors.
Yeah, he didn't last night, but coming up here pretty soon, they play George Wythe in this next game. And he's going to have to be the man when he goes against some of these Richmond area schools.
What was Culpeper's? Have they made it very far into the states in recent history?
Yeah, I believe it was a year or two ago. They were in the state quarters. I think they lost to Fluvanna, I want to say. I'm not 100%. My memory may be failing me there, but I know that they were in the state quarterfinals about 2 years ago with Josh Majors, Bobby Zakowski. So they've have a pretty strong tradition, and one of the few NBA players that this area has seen came from Culpeper and Keith Jennings. So that was way back in the 80s, but yeah, they have a pretty strong tradition.
You had a story this past week on a potential NBA player from the area, right?
Yeah, Tristan Curry, one of the all-time favorites around this area that I'm sure fans in Colonial Beach and Westmoreland are all out in that part of our coverage area and remember him pretty well.
Sure. Yeah. And speaking of Colonial Beach, they've got a game against Alta Vista coming up tonight, actually, in the 1A East.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they fare down there. I mean, they have Monty Gould is pretty much the guy who drives them, one of the leading scorers in the area. So be interesting to see what he does against a team of athletes like Alta Vista has.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's a look on the boys' side. Let's move over now to the girls' side, and we'll start back up at the 6A South. Colonial Forge had a little bit of a squeaker last night, facing a tough Franklin County team that did not want to get put away. Forge did end up winning 68-59. Jayla Osborne with 20 more points and 15 rebounds to go along with 5 blocks. So she, her typical solid night. But they were tested a little bit, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, well, Franklin County's no slouch.
No doubt, no doubt.
They've been a strong program, a program to be reckoned with around the state for several years now. So that's still an impressive win to be able to build a lead like that against a team like Franklin County and still be able to pull it out. And you see what Jayla Osborne was able to do, Nicole Collins and Nia Washington. I mean, you look at that trio and you add in the mix of Kenya Holland shooting, and it's a pretty potent mix. But they'll be tested even more than they were against Franklin County upcoming soon. So
they get to go to the Siegel Center on Wednesday as well, and they'll be taking on the Cosby girls team down there on Wednesday. Yeah,
that's a matchup a lot of people in the state are anticipating that follow girls basketball. That should be a heck of a game. Should be a very close game that could come down to the wire. I mean, Cosby, a lot of people would probably predict the Cosby victory, but I think Forge having that experience last year is going to certainly help them in this game.
It seems like you play tight games in the postseason. It comes down to some of the fundamentals, free throw shooting, ball control, ball handling, playing solid defense, those sorts of things. Colonial Forge seems to have those fundamentals down pretty well.
Yeah, they have the fundamentals, they have the talent, they have a pretty veteran coach, and they have the right mix of everything any girls basketball team would want. It's just a matter of will they be able to get it done against these teams that have similar talent.
Right. Talent and experience, yeah. Well, exciting. Very eager to find out the results of that Colonial Forge Cosby game on Wednesday night. In the 5A North, Massaponax girls, there were 2 close games at Massaponax last night, and the girls were on the losing side, unfortunately for them. 52-49 to Patrick Henry, sort of a buzzer beater attempt, but it was a long distance 3-pointer to try to tie the game up. But still, a good performance from the Panthers girls. Farthest they've made it into the postseason as well.
Yeah, very good performance. I mean, you look at this team; they have everybody back next year. So that game last night, they made some critical mistakes in the final 2 to 3 minutes of the game, but all of that will serve as a learning experience for them. And Adam Brown is really excited. He's kind of itching to get back into it already. They have to wait till next December, unfortunately, to play again. But that's a program that's on the rise in this area.
Excellent. Well, congratulations to the Panthers on a wonderful season. Well, in the 4A North, Chancellor with a 72-59 victory over Millbrook. The typical impressive performance from those girls. This Chancellor team, another strong team from the area.
Yeah, very strong. I mean, they won the regular season conference and conference tournament regular season and the tournament titles, and they were coming off a really impressive 50-point win over Cortland. So it would have been easy to envision a letdown for them against Millbrook, but that didn't happen. Sydney Jackson had 31 against Cortland. She comes back with 22 against Millbrook. Jayla Harris comes through with 21 points after being held to 10 against Cortland. So the thing about Chancellor, as long as they're able to run and trap and do the things they like to do, they have the athletes and the shooters to put up big points.
So Wednesday they will be hosting William Fleming in the next round. The winner goes to the state tournament. How important is it having that game at home versus traveling?
It's very important, especially when you consider William Fleming. That's a 3-hour drive to Roanoke, or maybe a little bit longer than 3 hours. So would you rather be on a bus for 3.5 hours, or would you rather be at home? So
good point. I do enjoy Roanoke, though. It's a nice city. I used to live there. But yeah, certainly something more relaxing about being at home, not having to take that long bus ride, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. Exactly.
Well, congratulations to Chancellor on an excellent victory over Millbrook, and another big game. Looking forward to finding out the results of that game against William Fleming. In the 3A East, Spotsylvania, they continue to roll. They're now up to 16-5 on the season. A 42-29 victory over Loudoun Valley. Courtney Simmons with another big game, 18 points. A strong defensive performance, though, holding a team to only 29 points. That's quite a showing.
Yeah, that's really impressive, and her supporting cast has always been the quote-unquote question mark with that team, but it looked like, at least defensively in this first round game, they stepped up and did their part on that end. And also Courtney with 18 out of 42 points. That's a pretty good percentage, because sometimes you'll see if they have 42, you might have to wonder if she has 30 of them. So,
right.
you know, so it's good to see the rest of the cast getting in on it. Yeah, a little more balance.
They're going to have a test coming up, though, against Huguenot. Yeah,
that should be really interesting. Huguenot has a freshman guard, Taya Robinson, who I was able to watch personally because she was on my niece's middle school team last year, and they won the city championship in Richmond.
Okay.
But they upset Lafayette 66-61 on Monday. She scored 41 points in that game. So
and Lafayette was the #1 seed.
Yeah, Lafayette was the #1 seed, and I saw a comment from their coach where he thought if they held her to 30, they would win. If they had held her to 35, they would have won. But she scored 41 points. So,
that's amazing.
And that'll be an interesting matchup with her and Courtney, two outstanding stars there.
But there again, Spotsy has that game at home, so Huguenot has to travel up from the Richmond area. It's not the 3-hour travel on the bus, but it's a solid hour, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe a little more. They're coming off a trip to Lafayette as well, so they could be drained. And like I said, Taya's a freshman, and with her scoring 41 out of 66, you have to wonder how much balance they have as well. So
yeah, excellent. And then we've got the 1A East, where Colonial Beach is going to be hosting Perry McClure tonight, actually.
Yeah, that'll be another interesting matchup to see just how far this Colonial Beach team can go. I mean, their only loss this year is to AAA Brook Point, who they also beat. So, I mean, they have 3 AAA wins on their resume, and as we talked about earlier, they're playing that frantic style. It'll be interesting to see if a team from out that way can deal with those type of athletes Colonial Beach has right now.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's February Madness for high school basketball. We'll be turning it over into March Madness soon enough.
Yes, sir.
But exciting times certainly for the area in high school basketball. Let's turn our attention to indoor track. And this is where we are going to find the Varsity 360 Athlete of the Week. She is from Stafford High School, where she is a 6A South champion in the high jump. Amaya Carey, she cleared 5 feet 8 inches in the 6A regional meet. This is the 4th best result in the nation this season. My goodness. Tell me about this girl.
Well, Amaya is a senior who's been on the radar for quite a while on the track and field scene, but she's apparently having a breakthrough right now. She cleared 5.6 earlier this year, and then on last Friday, she was able to clear the 5.8 mark, which is relatively unheard of in this area, except for one other girl, Crystal Jones from Colonial Forge, who's also cleared 5.8. So those two could be duking it out at the state meet on Thursday.
State meet. And where's that meet going to be?
That's going to be at the Boo Williams Sportsplex in Hampton, Virginia.
Okay, so back down in Hampton. So is there something about the salt air or something that helps to elevate? Is it like, you know, upper elevations? Is there anything special about that?
No, it's an indoor facility. So,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. 5 feet 8 and the 4th best result in the nation, this season. That's
tied for #1 in the state as well. So.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. Well, congratulations, Amaya Carey from Stafford High School. She is our Varsity 360 Athlete of the Week. Let's move on now to the other indoor track results. Staying in the 6A South, more champions. We've got Sabrina Johnson from Stafford with the shot put, and then from Colonial Forge, we've got Megan Rebholz, who was a 3,200 meter champion there.
Yeah, Megan's been our cross-country runner of the year the past 2 years. She's a girl who started out when she was in 9th grade in the marching band, and they asked her to come out the track. She was the slowest girl on the team, and now she's a regional champion, a multi-regional champion. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Hard work and dedication. That's wonderful. Great story. Great story there. Congratulations to Megan. From the 5A, we've got some other champions from the area. Mountain View, Alex Bukovic at the 1,000 meters. Michaela Morton in the 55-meter dash. She put up a good time there. Yeah,
Michaela, she's another one that's been around for a while. Since she was a freshman, we've always been able to see the potential in her, and she's demonstrated it a lot. She's been all-state in that event before, and now that the track is split into 6 divisions, she's somebody that could step up and break through with a state championship perhaps this year.
Yeah, and that's something we were talking about before we started recording. It's interesting seeing how many state champions, the number of state champions that we've got in the area. It feels like there's a lot more. Well, there's a reason for that. There are now 6 6 brackets instead of 3. So there are more state champions, but you know, that's great. It's more recognition for the kids that put in such hard work and deserve to have it. So congratulations to them.
Yep.
The Mountain View girls also in the 800-meter relay, they won the 5A North Championship there. And then from Brook Point, Alex Brodeur won the 300-meter event there. Alex, a guy that we know quite well.
Yeah, he's an outstanding sprinter. He's a junior now, and he's part of that Brook Point tradition of standout sprinters they've had there. And the interesting thing about this year's team at Brook Point, they also have the balance, because coming up right behind him, you have Big Joe Klein, who's slinging the shot put pretty far these days. Yep. So he also won a state championship.
That's right. Joe winning the state championship in shot put. Delquan Campbell from North Stafford winning the 500 meters. Still in the 5A, and then finally 4A North champion from King George, Davian Hutt in the 55-meter dash. Well, congratulations to all those kids. Wonderful performances. Good luck at the state championships. We hope that we get to say some more good things about you. Congratulations on your accomplishments thus far. Well, a number of state champions from the area certainly want to recognize these kids for all of the hard work and dedication that they have put in. That's what it takes to become a state champion. Let's start with wrestling. And at the 6A level, we have 2 state champions from the area. They both come from Colonial Forge. At 120 pounds, Josh Nail wins the 6A state championship. And at 220 pounds, Patrick Grayson, also from Colonial Forge, wins the 6A state championship. Congratulations to Josh and Patrick. At the 5A level, 170 pounds, from Mountain View High School, Jared Swan wins the state championship. Jared actually went 55-0 on the season and won a very close match there to win that state championship. Congratulations to Jared on his state championship, 170 pounds. Also from Mountain View High School, at 120 pounds, Junior Beltran wins the state championship. Junior, a former Varsity 360 Athlete of the Week, by the way. Congratulations to Junior on his state championship. And finally, at the 4A level, from Eastern View High School, Brian Ramey wins the 132-pound class in the 4A state championship. This is Brian's second state championship. Brian Ramey from Eastern View High School. Congratulations, to Brian. At the team level, Colonial Forge finished second in the 6A to Robinson, and in the 5A, Mountain View also finished second. Moving on now to swimming, a number of area athletes winning state championships. Want to recognize them. From Brook Point High School, Carolyn Wanner won the 5A state championship in both the 200 IM and the 500-meter freestyle. Congratulations. A dual state championship from Carolyn Wanner. From Orange High School, Larissa Nealon was the 5A state champion in the 100-meter breaststroke. Moving down to the 4A, from Eastern View High School, Annie Boone won the state championship, 2 state championships actually, in the 200 individual medley and the 100-meter backstroke. Congratulations to Annie Boone, a dual state champion. Also from Eastern View, Owen Van Krimpen won the 4A state championship in 500 freestyle. And Ricardo Bonilla Vasquez from King George High School won the 4A state championship in the 100-meter butterfly. And finally, from James Monroe, we have Brad Allison. Brad won the 3A state championship in the 200-meter freestyle. Congratulations to all of these boys and girls, young men and women, on their state championships. We certainly wish to recognize and congratulate them. Well, that's going to do it for this week's installment of Varsity 360, where we look at the top stories in Fredericksburg area high school sports. Certainly appreciate you checking in. Hope you've enjoyed the new format. Certainly enjoyed chatting about all of the wonderful stories in Fredericksburg area high school sports, and certainly appreciate Taft Coghill for joining us here this week. Taft, as always, it's been a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure, Mark.
So Taft, I know that we've been getting some great response from the viewers, and some folks have been getting recognition out at the games. Have you been approached yet? Has anyone come up and said, hey, you're that guy from Varsity 360?
Not yet, but I'll wait on it.
Well, hey, show Taft some love. Go up to him and say hi, maybe ask him for an autograph or something. Tell him that you enjoy and appreciate what he's doing. I certainly appreciate the time that he gives to us each week to chat on high school sports here on Varsity 360. I also want to say happy birthday to our producer, Mike Coleman. It was his birthday this past week. Appreciate everything that he has been doing for us and wish him the very best for his birthday. And once again, thanks for watching, everyone, folks. For the Virginia Varsity Sports Network, I'm Mark Coleman. Thanks for watching, everyone.